Jalen, great to see you again. Welcome back to Popternative.
Great to see you too, man. It's a pleasure.
I lost track of time, and then we talked about Thanksgiving, which is like one of my favorite films of all time. I love that film, but it's good to see you again. Change of pace a little bit. We're talking about the Pitt. The first 2 episodes just dropped on Max. Congratulations. I love this so much. I mean, people talking about ER a little bit. It's not ER. It's very different. It's fast paced. I can't even imagine getting scripts for this and kind of seeing what's going on, even before filming it. Like, what's it like getting the scripts for the Pitt specifically, even before filming it?
It's really, really intimidating. I mean, the scripts are super long because, the dialogue's so on top of each other. Everything's written out. And so when I got mine and when we all get ours, it's really intimidating because you see the scenes that we're doing, the medical jargon, sometimes, the continuous shots that they're planning on doing. We have to memorize like 5 scenes in a row in order just to get it done. So you kind of see these monster of traumas that you're going to have to accomplish in medical jargon. And it's just, it takes a long time to memorize and kind of get down. So, yeah.
What was the audition process like? Did you audition for Mateo? Did you read for a few people? Because we'll get into it. The cast of this is massive. Like there's so many people in this cast, right? So what was that like? Did you audition for Mateo?
Yeah, so my audition process was different than, the main doctors. And so I just did a self-tape with my mom who works in a hospital or like a family care.
Yep.
And she's a nurse like I am and stuff. And so my audition process was I just did a tape with her, got a call back, and then 3 months later I did a Zoom session with Noah and John and Scott and all them, and then I booked it. So I just did 2 auditions and that was it.
And I find it really interesting because, last time we chatted was about Thanksgiving, ensemble cast, the Pitt ensemble cast. I find it interesting because in, Thanksgiving, your character specifically had a lot of, there's a lot of cast, and I'm sure when you filmed it, you hung out with everyone, but you specifically had a lot of scenes with Nell and Milo, right? Like a couple of people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the Pitt, you're really like in an ensemble cast, right? Like you have scenes with everyone. What's that like for you specifically? What is that like differentiating, like being part of an ensemble cast and like being part of one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yes. I see you. It's different. Everybody's really, especially on the Pitt, everybody on the Pitt is very friendly, very kind. We all kind of clicked. You can kind of feel the chemistry on screen in the first 2 episodes it's like that in real life. And we have such a great time, since it's all one day, a lot of the times when we're on set, we're all just, in the background, hanging out or preparing to do our scenes and all that stuff. So everybody's very involved. We're all just kind of like, Noah said in one of his interviews, like we're all baking in this like pressure cooker, so we're just around each other 24/7. And it's just, in my opinion, I think it's helping the show, because we kind of become so familiar with each other as our doctors and nurses would do in the actual hospital.
What's it like seeing the balance from an acting storyteller perspective, Jalen? What's it like seeing the balance of these kind of like case by case, these fast-paced kind of cases that come in and the emergencies that come in, and even different doctors are involved and different nurses are involved, but then also seeing the cast, like the people we see, like their personal kind of issues and relationships come to be, right? Because there's 2 parts of the show, right? There's the them actually working, and then we're finding out about a lot of different characters. What's that like in terms of looking at that balance in the scripts and then seeing it come to life on screen, so to speak?
It's really interesting. It's, you kind of find this even place of in the scenes that are super chaotic and the trauma. It's that they put these little like Easter eggs in there where it's the stillness and the balance is actually in the fast pacedness of all those crazy scenes. So sometimes I say there is no balance with everything. It's just going all over the place, that's that's really chaotic about the show. But doing it over and over again with all these episodes, you kind of find a peace with, finding this and finding all those things in the chaos of your characters and our relationships is, how we're interacting with each other during all these traumas. So, yeah.
One thing I really love about your character, Mateo, and I think this is a credit to you because you're an incredible actor, Jalen, seriously, is there is this really interesting, dynamic, I feel like, with a lot of characters, but your character has this too, where very kind person, but like takes his job very seriously and will like and his job is first type thing, right? And he can goof around at times, but his job is first. You know what I mean by that? What's that like? And was that part of kind of the breakdown for Mateo specifically? Like, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I was told in my breakdown that Mateo was this like really chill guy that was able to make jokes in these high stress situations. So it was time. He was kind of. I took that as a sense of, you know, other doctors might lean on his energy in a sense of like, even in this chaotic situation, I'm very mellow. Like I'll kind of just, you know, I'm just there. I'm not freaking out, right? But yeah, that's what I was told, and it's been fun to kind of lean into that of and not have to really worry about being flustered by things, because Mateo is just like, something happens and he's on top of it, right? Even if it's out of left field, he just goes with the flow, you know?
Absolutely. So, at the end of the day, it's all storytelling. And I'm wondering, you know, different genres, different worlds, but like, how separate are past projects for you compared to something like The Pit? Like, do you bring kind of mindsets, preparations from something like Thanksgiving and playing Bobby to something like playing Mateo in The Pit, or are they kind of all separate once you wrap them specifically?
It's funny you asked. That's a great question. It was such a learning experience for going into this, because I would say, you know, going to Bobby and Thanksgiving from the previous work that I had done prior to that, I could take all those experiences into Bobby. But for this one, you had to leave all that stuff at the door, because it was totally different types of acting. And it's been a really humbling experience, because I didn't think I had acting all figured out or whatever. I thought I was pretty good at it. Like I was catching the flow, and then I get this job, and then you're just like, you get hit like life just hits you in the face, and you're like, whoa, shoot, like this is a totally different type of acting. It's, you know, 5-6 scenes rammed together. And nothing could have prepared me for it besides just throwing myself into that, you know?
Absolutely.
And so, yeah.
We don't want to go into big kind of spoilers and everything. The first 2 episodes dropped on Max, and what's happening right now is now every week a new episode's going to drop. There's going to be 15 total, and it's going to kind of wrap up in April. And I'm wondering, because we could talk about this a little bit, the first 2 episodes, you know, end on like, I wouldn't say cliffhangers, but big things happen at the end of episodes of The Pit. So I'm wondering, because this is part of The Pit, is part of that kind of traditional kind of format of what a show drops, that week to week, right? Whereas we're in this kind of binge culture where they all drop and you watch them. That's not happening with The Pit. We have to wait week after week, but it's an exciting kind of refreshing thing, right? Because it's those dinner table kind of conversations, waiting each week for a new episode to drop.
Absolutely.
Predictions. What is that like specifically, being part of a show that is doing that kind of traditional week to week drop specifically?
I don't know. I just like, it feels really, really cool. It's, you know, my family is super excited because they have something to, you know, talk about every single week or look forward to every single week. And I don't know, it's just something special. It feels I'm very proud just to be a part of this project, and, you know, honored to. And it's just, it makes, what's a good word for it? Like it's very, I don't know, it's proud to be a part of something that's not going back to the roots, but like it's kind of, it's classic, you know. I mean, it's classical, like, you know, it's going to be able to pull a lot of audiences in because it works, you know?
I think there's a world for both of them. Like, I love watching binging shows and I think there's a way. I like them both. Like, I don't think I could pick one, in my opinion. Like,
yeah. So that's why this one, like, I was watching it. I watched the first 2 episodes with a group of my friends, and we just wanted to keep watching. Like, we wanted to binge. And so it was just the fact that since we couldn't, it just kind of made it even more like a, you know, the waiting is going to make it even more of a, especially the show just gets more intense as it goes on, and it's just going to be great.
This is the question I've been looking forward to asking you the most, because I just find it very interesting, and I think my filmmaker creative hat kind of comes on when I talk about this, right? So, it's a very fast-paced show, like in terms of like how it's filmed and everything, and like from a viewer perspective, it's very quick, very fast-paced. What was the pace of filming it like compared to what we see on screen specifically?
It's fast. Like, it's really fast. Like, it's fast. Like, we, you know, when you do a rehearsal for a scene, you can do it maybe like 2-3 times, you know? I kid you not, like, we rehearsed once You know, like we have these medical rehearsals when we're doing traumas of actual doctors on set that will walk us through like what we're doing with our hands. Like we get these sides, our trauma sides, where it's our lines aren't highlighted or anything. They expect you to have your lines memorized already, but on the side of the sides, the doctors have written what you're doing between every single line. Like you're passing the IV here, you're doing a tourniquet, you're getting stuff for your chest tube. And so we go through that until we get comfortable, which is usually about 2 to 3 times, because everybody's kind of a really quick learner on the set, which is really awesome. But as soon as we start rehearsing the legit scene, we just do it once and then we hop into it, because all the directors, Amanda, Damien, John, and Silver, and all the directors, they love the rawness of, if you mess up and you drop something or you're crossing somewhere where you're not supposed to, they like that. Like, so they like the chaoticness of, that's how it actually would be, you know? So we find it as we're going. It's probably, my experiences have been with everybody, like the third take, everybody's kind of settling their feet in. But the first take, usually we're like, whoa, what are we doing?
Well, it's interesting too, right? Because obviously you stick to the script, but are there kind of moments where there's just kind of like very, like, I wouldn't say improv, but are there kind of on the cusp moments where a certain line is changed? Like, I'm just curious about that too, because it's so quick, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say improv or changed. It's more of like, if someone
delivery, maybe
someone's line, like it's super chaotic and we're talking over each other, we'll keep doing that because it'll work. But nothing of improv is throwing a line there, because the writing in the show is just really, really thought out.
Dude, it's so crazy that we bring this up, because I will have like conversations where it's like you see this amazing kind of thing on a show or a movie, and it's like this back and forth where two friends are talking, and you assume it's like improv, but it's not. It's like actually scripted, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And everything on the Pit, it's been, from my experience, has been on the page, and it's needed to be, because it's super chaotic, you know?
I remember when you were announced joining the cast for this, and I was so excited. And now we're actually like, we're just talking about it, like people will be able to see it. Like, it's crazy, right?
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a wild 5 months, 6 months, and it's been quick, you know? I started this in June, and it's January, and it's just 15 episodes, and you know, we're still filming, so it's wild, you know?
Absolutely. And then very quickly too, I just wanted to mention, because we did the interview like the first couple of weeks that Thanksgiving came out in theater, so we didn't have a chance to talk about it. But every year we do like our big, I'm a big horror movie guy, so it's like the top horror movies of the year, right? So we did our top horror movies of 2024 recently, right? How does it feel to be in the movie that was #1 of the top horror movies of 2023 for popturner.com?
It's amazing. It's an honor, dude. Like me, Gabe, Tommaso, we wear it with big chip on our shoulder. We love it.
I love that movie so much, man. Like,
thanks, man.
It's cool, right? And there's been like conventions you've been to. Like, it's really cool, right?
It's very. Fiona Dourif is in the show, and you know, she's part of the Chucky. Her father's Chucky, and you know, we talk about this all the time. I'm new into the horror area and stuff, the community, and going to cons and seeing fans and having fans, you know, reach out on socials, and there's a huge following of horror, is very big, and it's been fun. It's been fun to kind of, you know, dip your feet in that and see what that is, and it's great. Thanksgiving had a really cool impact of like a cult classic almost and stuff. And
I'm just gonna say a statement right now, and it's one of those where actually I don't want you to say anything. You could just be like, but like, I mean, Thanksgiving 2 is coming eventually, and you know, Bobby is not dead. We're just gonna keep that there.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
No, it's true. Like, if people watch the movie, he's not dead. A lot of characters are not dead. Scuba is not dead. Nope. He's not dead. But like I said, the Pit first 2 episodes available now, and then week to week drop. Incredible. I'm so happy for you and the cast and the crew. Congratulations, Jalen. So great chatting with you again. Thank you so much for your time.
You too, man. It's a pleasure. Always. Anytime.
Your Instagram account is just your name if you want to keep up to date with everything.
Yep, just Jalen Thomas Brooks.
Awesome. Well, this has been Pop Turnitive, youtube.com/PopTurnitive. Previous episodes, you can catch Jalen Thomas Brooks as Mateo in the Pit. First 2 episodes streaming now on Max. Week-to-week drops after that. Till next time, it's Jalen and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Pop Turnitive. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Pop Turnitive on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.